Hey YouTube, Ray at the Red Panda here, and I decided to do a tier list of my predictions of what can possibly get EX cards in the next set, since it probably has a Johto focus. I already kind of got rid of a lot of the basics. I'll keep poking at the basics, but let's go ahead and just get this going. First and foremost, I completely think all of the starters are going to have an EX. I think this is going to be a pattern that we will see in several of the sets going forward, if the sets are focused on specific regions. Obviously, the next set's going to kind of define whether that's the pattern that they're going to do or not. But if the next set's Johto, the Johto starters are going to be it. If the next set's Hoenn, the Hoenn starters are going to have EXs. It's just unquestionable. I do not think these early route... I'll leave those. I don't think these early route Evos are going to have EXs. I just don't see them being particularly popular. And the Pokemon Company handling... I guess it's Dina. With Dina handling this, they tend to stick with the popular cards. Or popular Pokemon. Maybe later on down the line, these three will have EXs, but right now it's unlikely. Ampharos, I think, is a little bit more likely, and Goldbot is a lot more likely. The babies, though. This is not happening. I don't think the Cleffa is either, or the Iggly. I don't think you will have an EX Togetic. But the Togepi, I actually think is going to be the Pikachu EX, the non-fully evolved popular Pokemon. It's my blue whale choice here. Xatu's probably sitting in this group. Ampharos is probably a bit more likely to have an EX. I don't like the idea of Blossom though. And I think we have enough water EXs that I think that this Asmurl is going to be knocked down a peg. Sudowoodo, though, could be a single stage, or a basic rather, EX. I don't like Politoed. I want Politoed, but I don't think that that's correct. I do think the Jump Pluff has decent odds. This may be another basic, but I think it's less likely than Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo is a bit more iconic than the options out there. Sunflora? Let's see, if I have a grass type, I'm probably doing Sunflora before I do Blossom, and I'm probably do Jump Pluff before I do Blossom. So I think the odds are more like this. I'm going to lower the Politoed as I think about this a little bit more. There's no Mega. Yanma is definitely not. I think this is just going to be pack filler. Wooper's no way. Quagsire is another one that I think should, but it's probably a little less likely. I actually think the Umbreon and Espeon are almost guaranteed to get EXs. These two are by far the most popular evolutions in the whole franchise, and if Umbreon does not get an EX, I would be genuinely wondering what this company is doing to select their EXs, because it would just be unusual. Your EX is going to be an Evo later. Slowking, I actually think has decent odds. Mischievous is in the same bucket as the Murkrow. Unknown would be unusual to have an EX. Like, what would an EX Unknown do? Maybe it will always hit weakness. The effect is unique enough, the Pokemon's style might be unique enough that it warrants it going up a tier. But I'm kind of fussed about putting it here. Note that the order is kind of irrelevant. I don't, it's just more so the hierarchy. Waba is probably in the A. Girafarig has the, it has the popularity problem. It doesn't have an Evo, if I remember correctly. Fortress, I want to throw up here. I think maybe it's a B tier. Fortress would be a sick EX artwork-wise. Dunsparce, no way. I don't even remember your name right now. It's Gligar, there we go. If I remember correctly, you have an Evo, so you're falling into the same bucket as the Murkrow. This is not a real poke, and the way I see I know it's the Mega, but Steelix, I actually think is very likely to get an EX. I think it might actually be another dual type in terms of the energy needs, and I think Brock is going to feed this pretty well. There's no way this is getting an EX. This is going to be like the Raticate. Same with you. I think you're even less likely. You're not real. Scizor, I want to throw up an S tier. How many? Let's take a look. How many EXs did that first set have? 1. This is probably going to be similar. 2. 3. I want to see my unknowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's no dark EXs. 16. Okay, so 16. So there's definitely plenty of room to include the Scizor. Shuckle, it would be a surprise, but I think it's more likely than some of these other 1 Evo. Heracross, same. I actually think it's more likely than Shuckle. You have an Evo later, if I remember correctly. Iconic for Gen 2, but immediately was no longer iconic afterwards. So I think the iconic for Gen 2, but the lack of popularity. There isn't a lot of fire type, so I think adding... No, we got 2 fire types from the legendaries. What about the water types? Lugia was colorless traditionally. Do I think you're down here. You're not. You're basic. You're probably a little bit more likely than this group, but only a little bit. Delibird, I am actually thinking much less that you're going to get. It's probably C. Alright. Mantine. I am happier with A. Skarmory, I actually think is an S tier likelihood. Let's actually think about the megas, because the megas may point to... So you're an S, you're an S, you're an A. So this probably goes in A. The Heracross. I threw you lower? No, you're an A. Okay, so the megas are at least A and S. I do think the megas make a bigger impact than I'm giving it credit for. I think you're an A. Right now, I just want to kind of throw things on here and kind of adjust. You're not likely. I want to put you in D. More babies. I don't think the babies are going to do it. Miltank, surprise. Oh, A tier. Blissey, I think, has the potential of being the S tier for likelihood. And then T-Tar is S. These are S for sure. And I don't think this is going to get another EX. Okay, so I definitely think this group here is basically guaranteed. I do think the Steelix, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if I move one up, then the S tier can be my prediction of like what I think is getting the EXs. So right now there are 3 fire types. Am I that confident that the legendary dogs are going to have EXs? That's actually worth a thought. Of the A tiers, I think I want to say Waba has the most likelihood of getting an EX. So I'm going to move it to S tier to give this my prediction of the 16. Are there any that I think that are wrong? No, I think I'm really happy with how my S tiers are sitting. I think Blissy's probably the least likely here, along with Wobbuffet. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. Alright, so my prediction is the starters, the legendary dogs, the 2 evolutions, and the 2 birds are all but guaranteed. I think only one of these is going to get it. I'm going to move this down. And I'm going to move your dark type. You could be another dark EX. But honestly, we're short on electric types, so I'm going to put Ampharos up here. I think Ampharos is S tier. So I think this is the setup. I think these are locked in. I think this is going to be our, these 2 are going to be our new steel type EXs. I think T-Tar is going to be a dark type EX. We're going to have Blissey for our colorless, Ampharos for electric, and I don't know type-wise how Wobbuffet's going to... Oh, it's psychic type. So it's going to be the psychic, another psychic. Yeah, like this. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and let's see how correct I am. Have a good one.